Paper Diesel, Jess.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 6 of the Maritime Hockey Podcast. This episode, we're going to be recapping the Avalanche series. Here with Eric and Ben today. Unfortunately, Chris is not joining us today. He's got some homework to do, so it's just us for today. But he said he's okay with that, so good to know. So yeah, Avs and Blues series. Avalanche coming out with the sweep.
Yeah, I don't think that surprised many people.
No, I don't think so. I think a lot of people had them in 5. I know I had the Avs in 5. I thought St. Louis would at least win one game in that series.
Yeah, I don't know.
But no, I gotta, even though St. Louis got swept, I gotta give them credit. They played hard in those games, especially Binghamton. He came up with some great saves, and
I think Binnington has got to stop trying to fight every single goal he plays against. I know that happened in game 1. I understand it fires up your voice, but it's like, dude, come on, like, I don't agree with it.
Yeah, I understand it frustrates you and all that, but like, come on, after every game and skating down the ice, like, come on, man.
But it's all good. And I mean, obviously in game 4, I saw pre-game, who was it? I mean, Blues were missing a bunch of guys. I mean, Falk was injured, and Kadri obviously had the big suspension. We'll talk about that later. But who was it? Falk, Bortuzzo. I mean, those two names alone, you're missing those in an elimination game. And then David Perron was out, and they're probably missing one other guy. I think I saw maybe Sammy Blais or something. So, I mean, they were going to be, in tough regardless. But, I mean, you take those guys out of the lineup. I mean, I don't think it was only a matter of time until Colorado just ate them alive, right? So.
Yeah, and it's been, for the President's Trophy winners, Colorado, it's been 20 years since the President's Trophy team last swept. And the only team to do it 20 years ago was Colorado.
Yeah, they got that touch, man.
Yeah.
Good for you.
So that just shows you they're no joke.
Nope. They're a beast, man. They're a beast.
Yeah.
Ben, you watch any of their games?
Yeah, I'm here to support Nate McKinnon, and I like Landeskog and Rantanen, and I think Grubauer has definitely figured it out. On the St. Louis side of things, I agree with you, Billy, with Binghamton. He can make some clutch saves coming down the stretch, but sometimes I think maybe, and I have been a goaltender. I know that sometimes you can get in your own head, even as a player, forward or defense, but they just got the injury bug. You always want to try to go for the gold, go for the cup, but when you don't have those pivotal guys in your lineup, like the Perrons, and you don't have those guys in the lineup to solidify your entire group, and they're up in the press box, that really hurts the mojo of all the boys. And yeah, everybody else has to step up. They had Tarasenko. Unfortunately, they don't have Pietrangelo anymore. But you got Hoffman. You got guys that can still put the puck in the net. We saw that in game 3. That Tarasenko still has hands that are just absolutely ridiculous. But I really think that Joe Sakic has taken this team to another level. You have veteran status, you got grit, you got good goaltending, solid backup in Dubnyk. But at the end of the day, I saw Colorado sweeping St. Louis. I didn't call it out, but I saw it happening. I'm definitely not surprised, because Nathan McKinnon is an absolute mutant. He is a mutant, and we all saw that when he played here for the Moose. And he can just, the guy can score. There's no other way to describe him. He is a mutant, and all that guy does is score. So it's a tough loss for the Blues, and we would have liked to hear Gloria keep playing in the background every once in a while. But just they had their time, and they'll still be in the mix next year. They'll still be with everybody, I think, if they can keep that group together. Maybe get some cap room with the expansion draft and all of that. But other than that, I didn't see it going any other way. I knew Colorado was going to win that series. Didn't know about a sweep, but gets their group some good time to rest up and move on to the next one.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy.
I wanted to mention a quick thing too. I saw on our last episode someone commented saying, "Who's Billy?" That would be Eric.
That's me.
It's just it's a nickname we have for him. His last name's Bilodeau, so we call him Billy. So yeah,
it happens. Yeah.
Thanks for that. Thanks for that person commenting.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I reached out. I saw that comment too. Yeah. I just let him know, and that's that's something that I totally didn't even think about. I'm just like, oh yeah, it's just so many people call me that now, and I mean, I have that in my Instagram too. Is Billy? I mean, like, whatever.
Good thing you did, or else I may have gotten my my quarrels up a little bit there. Just be like, boys, like you fucking know we have fucking hockey nicknames. Like
I know. No,
people
that's
call
just
me
how it goes.
People call me Coach. People call me Younger. People call me Coach Younger. Like it's all over the map. And Jess, I don't know if you have a nickname quite yet through your hockey world, but I'm sure I'll figure one out for you. Ask Billy. I give some guys sick nicknames.
He'll figure one out.
Yeah.
Over time. You'll get one. You'll get one eventually. It's just Jess is such an easy name to rolls off the tongue 100%. Well. So rolls off the tongue well. But anyway, but I know oh man. I know we don't want it. I know we don't want to get into it, but I think, I mean, as much as, we could probably still talk about the Avs, but I mean, a series sweep where, not one game went to overtime. It was pretty dominant the whole way. You can't really say much other than the fact that the Colorado Avalanche are a ridiculous team. And I don't think it matters if they play Vegas in the next round. We'll find that out. Vegas could win their series tonight. I don't think that they're going to have much of a trouble against Vegas. They'll put up more of a fight than the Blues did, just because, I mean, Vegas has always been a good team since they came in the league. But I don't see Colorado losing. I don't see them losing a best-of-7 series. I don't care. I don't care if they have to play Tampa, Carolina, Boston. I don't see them losing 4 out of 7 with the team that they got. I really don't. So
and now that Colorado has that rest for going into round 2 now, that's gonna be a big benefit for them too now.
Yes. Yeah. I don't think it'll be close. I mean, obviously, like, listen, like anything can happen in the playoffs, but this is as sure as I've been in many years that, the Colorado Avalanche, I think, are going to win the Stanley Cup. I think a lot of people are with me on that one.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Like we see the crazy happens in the playoffs leading into, Coach, I know you don't want to talk about it too much, so we won't talk about it that much, but the Edmonton Oilers and the game 3 against the Winnipeg Jets. Jess, what do you think about that game?
I think, I think a lot of people are surprised that Winnipeg's up 3-0. Ben, again, I know this hurts you, but the Oilers up 4-1 and then give up a 4-1 lead. The Jets come back, tie it, and then former Moosehead Nikolai Ehlers rips one in OT.
I think you think the Oilers beat themselves there, Coach, or do you think the Jets played better?
To be honest with you, it just shows you how much momentum just can decide a hockey game. The ice was tilted the Oilers' way, first and second period. Draisaitl woke up and McDavid, getting a couple apples there, and Drew Duckera, he got on the scoreboard, which was nice to see. But it was a rough sleep. Woke up this morning, had my coffee, went for a good walk with the girlfriend, and then definitely know how Leafs fans feel. We can all talk about a 4-1 loss, game 7. Now, in comparison, I was talking to my buddy Wamby today, and he's the diehard Leafs fan, and he's pushing for the Oilers in this series, not just because he's my buddy. He just does not want to meet the Jets in round 2. the Jets, they were asleep, and then all of a sudden, yeah, Archibald got that weird penalty. Yeah, he turtled, kind of a pussy move on his part. But Stanley is an absolute monster. That guy's like the goal. He's massive. So, you know, he turtled. We got the penalty. Every shot that went in, though, even Billy as a goaltender, every shot that went in minus Ehlers' overtime winner was either tipped. I think Smitty had really good positioning. I think he just couldn't, like, he saw the puck, but then all of a sudden a guy went in front of him, and that glimpse when if somebody goes in front of you, it's like you're there, but then all of a sudden the puck, you think the puck's going to be here, and then it's down there, right? Puljujarvi got in the way of one. He tried to, you know, knock one out of the air, and it deflected, and Smitty just, his glove was literally a couple inches too high. You know, I don't think I'll be able to stay up tonight to watch tonight's game. Maybe it goes back to when the Jays were in the, I know we're talking about baseball for 2 seconds, but when the Jays were in the playoffs, you know, with Bautista and Donaldson, my roommates, whenever I did watch the game, they lost. Sorry. Yeah. Whenever I did watch the game, they lost. And whenever I didn't watch the game, they won. It was the same when the Raptors went for their, when we won the whole thing. Right. So maybe tonight, just take a breather from it. You know, the Jets, they came out, man. And when they got that power play goal, I looked at the time. It was 8:49 left in the third. And I'm like, they're going to come back. They're going to come back. They needed that, you know, they needed that little oomph. And if you give them that much time and space, or whatever you want to call it, the hockey gods can be in your favor. And you'd almost rather get up 4-1 with 2 minutes left in the third and not be going into the third with a 4-1 lead. It sucks, yes, as an Oilers fan personally, but I'm never going to be one that rips on the other team unless some greasy stuff happens. And the Jets just fought hard, man. They came back, they grinded it out. They played rock'em sock'em type hockey, and Ehlers was on fire. And we see that happen so many times. A guy comes off an injury and he's got that burn in his gut, and he's just ready to go. And I'll give it to Ehlers. Unbelievable shot there in overtime. Great draw by Stasny. But and I'm a centerman through and through, and he won that clean. It just went right to him, right? So set play for sure. But hey, anything can happen. We still got one more tonight. I'm probably not going to watch it just because I still am a little hurt. I haven't heard from anybody that I know from back in Alberta, but you know, I think Edmonton's a little bit of a sad city right now. But anything can happen. And Smitty gets to start again, right? You got to have your confidence in your starter, and Koskinen can't stop a beach ball. So I'm pretty happy to see Smitty back in the net. But anything can happen. Just like the Montreal and Toronto series, anything can happen.
I see a lot of people blaming Mike. Well, okay, I don't want to say blaming Mike Smith, but they're giving him a bit more, you know, I kind of lose my words a little bit, but they're giving him a bit more heat than I think he deserves. I don't think he deserves any heat, honestly. I mean, like, he's been your best player the whole series. Even in that game, I think he was the best player in the second half of the game. I mean, Draisaitl obviously played well, McDavid played well and stuff, got some assists, but I mean, when the Jets poured it on, they were scoring goals. I don't think you can blame Mike Smith one bit. Even Connor Hellebuck played another great game. And they were saying on the broadcast that they were like, man, like this game could have been like 7-7, 8-8 going into overtime. And like these guys kept it. Because I mean, look at the shots, and not only the amount of shots, but like the quality chances that each team is getting. You know, weird tips and deflections I saw by Nugent Hopkins, and Hellebuck's making the save. And you know, I'm not. You know, I mean, it's two Canadian teams. Typically, if I'm not cheering for the Pens, I'm just cheering for the Canadian teams. It was a series of both of them. So I don't really have a preference of who wins, but I mean, you know, sweeps aren't fun, right? Like you know, they're not enjoyable to watch. You like watching 7-game series, you like watching long series. You know, I mean, listen, I'm not an expert on, you know, I'm not an analyst or anything like that, but I mean, especially after this game and the fire that this will, you know, put under the Oilers' ass, I think, knowing that it's like, well, you get a chance now to be the 5th team in league history to come back from a 3-0 deficit. You're the team to do it. I mean, you got two of the best offensive players in the league. in the history, like one of the best dynamic duos in league history. It's not like they can't do it. It's not like they're playing the fucking Boston Bruins or Colorado Avalanche, and they've beaten Winnipeg before. So I wouldn't be, obviously, I mean, it's 3-0, it's rough, but I don't think that there could be, as strange as it sounds, they could be in a worse spot. I think they could be in a worse spot. They could be, struggling to score goals now. I think that problem's behind them. It's just like, you know what, guys, get out of our own head, pretend this game didn't happen, use it as energy. Like Coach, you would say, I remember to us, you'd say, don't think about it too much, but keep it in the back of your head. Just, keep that fire under your ass. So I'm predicting the Oilers take this one. After that, I don't know. It'll be a gong show. But I think the fourth game of the series, no matter what the series lead is, it's the hardest game to win.
Yeah.
I think the Oilers are a good team still. I don't think that changes just because they collapsed. Teams have, like, that happens to teams. I think the Oilers are going to be fine. It's going to be a hell of a comeback if they do it, but they're the team to do it. We've seen how crazy they can explode, and they can turn it on an instant like no other team can. So that's my thoughts on that, but I guess we'll see what happens tonight.
Yeah. And going in, talking about that game 2 for the Leafs and Habs, I know they talked about a crazy stat too, which has been 19,744 days since the Leafs last won a playoff game against the Habs. And Jack Campbell got his first career playoff win that game too, so good for him.
Big story. What do you think happens with Freddie Anderson? I totally forgot he was on them. He was on the Leafs.
I think maybe, honestly, I think they might let Seattle take him in the expansion draft. Yeah. I think that would be a good option for Seattle to do that.
I think, again, like, I'll be honest, I totally forgot Frederik Anderson was even on the Leafs because he was injured and because Jack Campbell was playing so much. And I think that's, if Seattle takes him, look, you're going to look at, and I know Younger, we're talking about, Younger, Coach, Ben, whatever. We were talking about that a couple days ago, and just like how many goalies are going to be available, how many good goalies aren't going to be protected. Like, this is the year of the goalie. Of all years for there to be an expansion draft, I think this is probably the best year for Seattle. They'd be licking their chops right now because they're looking at the goalie pool that's going to be available. They could have their 3 goalies that they're going to pick, and maybe more depending on what trades they want to make and stuff. They can pick 3 starters easily. And Frederik Anderson's going to be one of them. Like you said, Younger, Braden Holtby is going to be another one, most likely, because I can't see the Canucks not protecting Thatcher Demko. Fleury might even be one. Like, with the year that he's having, like, kind of sucks for Vegas that now he's having a fantastic year because he just signed Robin Leonard to a 5-year deal. So Seattle's got to be licking their chops, man. But I think that Frederik Anderson is still a good goalie in the league. That injury hurt him, definitely.
Yeah.
And I think as much as, I'm sure Jack Campbell wouldn't say this because Freddie Anderson's teammate, but what a good opportunity it was for him to step in, take the reins, and now he's their starting goalie, and he probably will be for the considerable future. So that's good for them.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He's definitely proved he can be the number 1 goalie there in Toronto, and you look at his record in the season, phenomenal. So I think the Leafs did a good job acquiring him from LA for sure.
Took a gamble on him, obviously. They had a lot of goalies in the system, but took a gamble on him, so he'll be good. And I kind of forget that Seattle's even coming in. That hasn't hit me yet, that there's going to be a 32nd team in the league.
Yeah.
I kind of forgot that they were coming in, but hopefully I think they're going back to the old divisions, right? Like, they're not going to have this division alignment that they did this year.
Yeah, I think they're going back to the regular divisions.
Yeah. Fuck.
Yeah.
I can't wait. Can't wait for next year. It'll be exciting.
But like you said, with all the free agents this upcoming off season, I saw TSN, they put like a mock list of who Seattle might take, and there was quite a few big names on there too.
Mm.
I mean, they could be a good team. Maybe not as good as Vegas did in their first year, but maybe, who knows?
I think it'll be interesting. I mean, I don't know when the expansion draft is. Sometime in July, I think, or maybe August. But that'll be
Sometime in
good.
July, I think, yeah.
Going to the other series that concluded. Ben, what do you think happens to Alexander Ovechkin now that the Caps just got eliminated? You think he goes to KHL? Oh. Your fucking audio is so bad right now. Why the hell does that happen? No, you're still out. What the fuck's going on? The audio.
Am I back now?
Yeah. All right. Yeah, you're
there,
good.
yeah.
You're good.
Yeah, no, I think that I think Ovi will stay with the Caps. Yeah, he could make like stupid, ridiculous amounts of money with the K. But you know, deep down inside, I really think, and I chirp Russian hockey players all the time because I'm just a diehard Canadian. But the guy can put the puck in the net. He's an amazing hockey player. Like, he's a beast out there, right? Power forward. And no one will forget that goal that he scored in like his second, in his sophomore year.
Oh yeah, against Arizona.
Yeah.
Holy shit. That was
I did see something on Instagram today that it did say that he will be re-signing. Now that was just on Puck Rumor, Puck Empire on Instagram. Yeah. I really don't think that you'll see him leave quite yet. I don't think he's going to pull like a Jaromir Jagr, but Jagr didn't get picked up by anybody, right? And the Caps would take OV back like that. It sucks for him, but he does have his cup. That's what he wanted. And of course, he wants another one too. But I also think that, with the Olympics coming up in 2022, he wants to be in the show. And I know if you go to the K, you can go play in the Olympics as well. But if NHL players go in 2022, if he's playing in the show, damn right he's going to be there for Russia.
Oh yeah.
He's going to be. Because he was pissed when he couldn't go play the last Olympics, right? So with the Caps, man, I was pushing for the Caps. A couple Canadians on there, great hockey players type deal. And I'm just not the biggest fan of Boston in general, but I'm always rooting for Brady Marchand, hometown boy, but it's just the commentators. I can't handle it.
Jack Edwards, yeah. Shout out to Jack Edwards, piece of shit. I hate him as a commentator.
Oh man, it's really rough to watch, but I don't see OV. I don't see OV moving. I think OV will get to a point where he becomes kind of like a Chara, and he'll sign like a 1 to 2 year deal. I don't think he'll sign another 8 because I don't think he has another 8 years in him.
No.
But I do believe that he will finish his career either in Washington or go play 1 year somewhere else and then sign a one day contract with Washington like Danny Alfredsson did and retire in a Washington Capitals jersey. I don't think you'll see him go anywhere anytime soon.
Yeah.
And I mean, as a hockey fan, you hope he doesn't, right? Because I mean, people have mixed emotions about Ovechkin, say this, but I was talking to my dad yesterday, and I mean, we're Penguins fans here. We've got the big rivalry with Washington, whatever. But I mean, maybe to the casual hockey fan, who just wants to be part of the rivalry, you have a hate towards certain teams and stuff. But I mean, someone who just enjoys the game. I mean, like you said, Coach, it's like has to be the best pure goal scorer that's ever played the game. I know Gretzky obviously holds the record and stuff, but he's absolutely a tank on the ice. And I mean, this isn't this skinny, skilled guy. He's skilled, but he weighs like over 220 pounds, and he's a beast going down the ice. McKinnon reminds me of Ovechkin. I'm telling you, like, they're the same type of player. I think McKinnon's a bit more, hands to him than Ovechkin does, but just a rocket of a shot. And I mean, like, he's going to go down as one of, if not the greatest Washington Capital in history, especially with, the amount of goals that he scored. They're going to retire number 8, obviously. Yeah. But like I said, as a hockey fan, you don't want to see him go anywhere else just because, I mean, he's been around so long. He's been so good for Washington, and he like put him back on the map. And finally, when they won their cup, he was like swimming in the fountains and just going in people's like backyards and just like, going ape shit. Like, So I don't think it'll be good if he leaves. Same thing with, Crosby. If Crosby just decided, he's like, yeah, you know what, anytime that they leave the game, when they leave the game, whether they retire or not, it's going to be a sad day. So I think it's the same thing with Ovi. You don't want to see him. You want to see him play as long as he can. And I don't think that he would leave like how they got eliminated. They won the first game, then they basically got swept, 4 straight. So I don't think that he would leave the NHL like that. Obviously, there comes a time where you got to listen to your body and stop at one point. But I'm sure that he's gonna come back with a vengeance next year. I can't say that for the rest of the Caps because I think that their team is going to go through some changes for sure. I don't know. People forget that Henrik Lundqvist was supposed to play there. Imagine if he didn't have to get that surgery. Maybe he would have guided them to a cup. I don't know. But they're old. They're good. Their best players on this team are old guys. They are past the prime of their career for sure. So I don't know what it's going to look like at Washington next year, man. They might have to. They're going to let some guys go. Seattle, like we said, is going to get a good player out of Washington because they can't just afford to protect these guys who are, old, who you're good players, but it's dude, you got to save some money, right? So
yeah,
we'll see what
one of
happens
the
with
players I saw on the Seattle mock list was TJ Oshie.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking about as I'm saying.
Yeah.
He's and I mean, getting rid of Jacob Vrana, I think, was one of the stupidest things. Not that Anthony Mantha's a bad player, but when I saw that trade, I was like, oh man. And everyone was saying, they're like, man, Detroit won this.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, obviously, we know my first favorite team's the Wings, so I loved that trade. I mean, ever since he's been here in Detroit, he's been ripping it up.
Yeah.
Great player, great hands, everything.
Yeah. Beast in the shootout, too, Jacob.
Yeah.
Very underrated player, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, it'll be fun to see. Fuck, man.
The Wings got a great future ahead of them, too.
They got a good
with
future.
The prospects they have.
What do you think about, I know we don't talk about prospects much, but Wings prospect Moritz Seider, probably one of their top prospects that got drafted a few years ago.
Absolute beauty.
Is he?
Yeah.
I haven't seen much of him. I know he played sick in the World Juniors a couple years ago.
He actually this year he won best defenseman in the SHL.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The Swedish hockey league.
What's this fucking guy's name?
Moritz Seider.
Moritz Seider from Germany. I think he was 6th overall pick. It was the year before Zadina went, I think.
Oh, okay, yeah.
No, it was a couple years after that.
Was it after Zadina went?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, okay. Because it wasn't 5 years ago. He only got drafted 2 or 3 years ago or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, he's because I bring that up just because I've totally forgot that the World Championships are going on now.
Yeah.
Don't even.
No,
Canada's team's not looking that good.
Canada's team. Well, look, okay. Obviously, this is not the best team they could have produced.
No.
Because obviously, if you're in the playoffs, you can't go. It's all the players out of the playoffs, and then in other leagues. There is so many other good players. Jarrett Anderson Dolan is their first line center or something like that. That's a 4th line guy on the Kings. Obviously, this isn't the best team Canada could produce. I don't think they've won yet. They lost to Latvia. They lost to Germany, I think, today. So
they lost to the U.S. too.
They lost to the U.S.
I was watching a bit of that game. Both teams looked absolute bad. Even the U.S. It's you're watching it. It's okay, who's the best of the worst and who's the worst of the worst?
Yeah. Yeah. Listen, the World Championships are kind of a forgotten about tournament. I think it's right up there with the Spangler Cup. I kind of forget that those tournaments happen. But listen, anything that Canada's in, I want them to win, and they're playing dog shit. I'm all right, well, gives it.
I think I know. I think why teams are not really picking their best enough players to be on the team. I think that's because I just don't think it means much for them for the World Championship.
Not worth risking an injury, probably.
Yeah.
Probably when it's the good players, and I don't know, maybe the COVID situation they're afraid of. I don't know.
Yeah.
I saw
I was wondering why there's so much ever good players that didn't even make the playoffs this year. that Canada could have chose. Like they could have chose Brett Burns or Drew Doughty, guys like that.
So they had to. The reason that I really think that Canada couldn't have beefed up their lineup a little bit in the World Championship. That, yeah, a lot of them were in the playoffs, like Sid the Kid, McDavid, McKinnon, all these guys that could have definitely played. But the biggest thing is they have to isolate for 6 days. So let's say tonight, knock on wood here, the Oilers lose out, right? McDavid could go. Draisaitl could go to Germany, right? The best that the Oilers, the best that Canada can make right now is maybe a quarterfinal, right?
Yeah.
Even 0-3. You really think McDavid's gonna go over there and then isolate for 6 days? Probably
Yeah,
not.
no,
Probably
Probably
not.
I would say so.
Probably just thinking, you know what, I'm gonna maybe either stay here in Edmonton and golf, or you know, I'm gonna take the risk, go home back to Ontario and do my thing. Germany's doing really well in the tournament so far. I think they're 2-1 or 2-0 or something like that. You could see Draisaitl go back and play. Now, if Canada was in a better situation and there was no COVID, I think you would see McDavid go over as well. You know, all these guys want to be playing for that jersey, right?
Yeah.
For their country. But, you know, these teams minus maybe, you know, Switzerland and Denmark and Germany and even the States, they have a couple good guys. I don't know how their goaltending situation is because they're goaltending I think their starter went down there with an injury against Canada. He caught the post with his skate and went down. But it does remind me of the teams that went to the Olympics, the last Winter Olympics, when the NHL players didn't go, right? I didn't really watch that Olympics, but you know, it would be sweet to see. It's nice, but at the end of the day too, it's nice to see Timo Meier over there. You got Heischer over there, right? You got a bunch of these guys, and I'm sure Jesse, you'd probably maybe following them guys because you know we're all Moosehead fans. But you know, looks like Heischer and Meier, they have some chemistry going. Looks like they scored a couple sick goals. But you know, if there's no lockout and there's teams in the playoffs, you're going to be losing those guys, right? But this is a big tryout, I personally think, for Gerard Gallant, because Gerard Gallant was one of the front runners for the Kraken for a head coaching position. And I also think Roberto Luongo is really rethinking who he probably could have tried to persuade to get over there.
Yeah, I didn't think about it like that. That was a good point. You think I was listening to some I mean, again, like the account that you brought up, like Puck Empire, Puck Report or whatever, like I follow what they're saying too. And like, I believe it was them. I think it was them that was saying just different, like different ex-coaches that are floating around, like free agent type guys, like guys who are in between jobs that, you know, could be going to the Rangers and the Kraken and like guys. And I'm just like, man, and I hear today, Joel Quenneville, if the Panthers end up losing, they said like it would be in Joel Quenneville's probably best interest to go to Seattle. So again, like the teams, you know, teams who are struggling and are looking for a new coach, it was a good time to look for a new coach with the amount of guys that are looking for new opopportunities and stuff. Not to mention,
I don't think it would be in Quenneville's best interest to go to the Kraken. He's built up Florida. Now ownership may have different viewpoints on that. I think Joe is a really good coach. But you know, it's a coach's market and a goalie's market for the Kraken, and I just can't wait till we have that episode after that draft.
That's gonna be so much to talk about. That's a 2 hour. That's gonna be a beast of an episode. Let's just.
And then we're gonna get sponsors for the show, and we're all gonna get Kraken jerseys.
Absolutely. Oh, you know how quick I'm gonna be buying Kraken shit. They're already my second.
Their unis are just dirty.
They're dirty. I love them. I also saw. Okay, this is a whole other thing. Like, you know, the TV rights going to like TNT in the States. You know how like hockey's doing that now. Well, when Seattle came out with their name, I saw Charles Barkley, or was it? No, it wasn't Charles Barkley. It was the guys on like Pardon the Interruption or whatever that show is.
Yeah.
which
yeah.
I already like. US TV, US sports anchors already bother me. I could be biased just because I'm Canadian, but the things that
I
they
can
talk
only
about,
watch the last 5 minutes of that show
Yeah.
until Tim and Friends or
Exactly.
last known Tim and Sid
Tim and
would
Sid,
come on, right?
yeah, because it's
Yeah.
just some of the things that they say just irk me. But one of this, I guess it's because I'm a hockey fan and because I'm a passionate hockey fan, and not just, it's not just like, oh, I like Pittsburgh and anything that has to do with that's not Pittsburgh, I don't fucking listen. It's like, no, I love hockey as a whole. So these guys who are trashing on the Seattle Kraken name, they're like, that's the worst name in sports. You
Yeah.
want to talk about bad names in sports? I was looking at the comments and people are just like, get over yourself. I mean, it just to see people who you don't even follow hockey. You don't even follow hockey.
Yeah.
You don't talk about it on your show. So don't just be like, dude, it's the stupidest thing I've ever seen. I think that's ridiculous.
Just the last thing, and then we'll go right back to actual hockey because Jesse, I know you got a lot here on the notepad. Just to prove that point, Charles Barkley, the Memphis Grizzlies played last night in their first game against the Utah Jazz, and a guy within the last name of Brooks, he is from Canada, and Charles Barkley goes, yeah, you made us lose a lot of money, and blah blah blah, and like the bets or whatever, and he goes, so apparently you're not from the United States, so like where are you from? And he goes, oh, I'm from Canada, and he goes, oh, Canada. Where's that? Like he had no clue that producing all of these like even amazing basketball players too, right? Like we got guys all over the place in the NBA.
Yeah.
And it does come to show you a little bit, we are Canadian, and our game is hockey. Our first ever game is lacrosse, but we're known for hockey. Amazing lacrosse players. Shout out to all the great lacrosse players out there. But it just comes to show that with this whole changeover with the broadcasting rights, it's going to be hilarious because they're trying to grab like Ray Ferraro, all these guys that are signing with ESPN and stuff. Sure, the opening credits will be great because it gets you jacked up. Like how Canada used to do it all the time. But then they sold their song. Like, how do you sell the song? Man? Like that's what Hockey Night in Canada is all about, is the song.
Yeah.
But anyway, what's up next there, Jesse? What's up next, bud?
What do you got there?
I guess we can talk about the 3 elimination. Well, we talked about the Oilers one, but the other elimination games tonight, Tampa can advance and so can Vegas.
I think I don't know. I feel like I have more faith in Florida at this point. I don't know. I got a feeling about Florida. I mean, they are too good of a hockey team to just get rolled over by Tampa, especially where you look at the games, with the exception of game 4, even with their shaky goaltending, they've played a good series. I don't think that you can look at Florida and say like, oh man, like, I know I was kind of shitting on them a couple, last episode and a few episodes, but I mean, you really look at the series and it's like Florida's played well. Like you can't even diss them. You can't put it all on Bobrovsky and Drieger. Definitely a lot of it because they have not come up with the saves that they need to come up with. I hear Spencer Knight is making his playoff debut tonight.
Is he
I
playing
think
tonight?
Yeah. He was in the starters now practice.
I was gonna ask you guys if because I heard the same thing, that he was in the starters nets in practice yesterday or today, and that's sick. Like that, that kid's just gonna be first off shitting his pants.
Well, yeah.
Could you imagine?
Yeah.
First year in the league, and then like you are in front of Sergei Bobrovsky. Vezina Trophy winner or something like that.
Two-time former,
Two-time Vezina Trophy winner, and Chris Drieger, who's a decent goaltender too, a decent backup to Bob.
And you're also facing elimination too.
Yep.
Man, that guy's gotten zero sleep, no pregame nap, nothing.
I mean, but what's good for him though is that, like, man, it can only go up for Florida at this point. I mean, people have already got Tampa cruising into like the conference finals right now, and it's just like, man, you're down 3-1. For the Panthers as a whole, it's like this would be disappointing. But for Spencer Knight personally, as nervous as you are, and as a goalie, obviously I've never been put in that huge of a situation, but I can sympathize and be like, listen, if that were me, I wouldn't sleep. I'd be incredibly nervous. And I mean, you put more pressure on yourself than what there actually is.
Yeah.
But what an opportunity for him coming into this game. Because if he wins, dude, even if
Huge.
he wins one game and they lose game 6, or if it goes to game 7, they lose game 7, no matter what happens, no one is going to be looking at Spencer Knight and be like, nah, see, there you go. You fucked up. No way. This is
No.
awesome for him. That what
Yeah.
is got to come into? Your breakout, this could be his breakout thing, because he's going to be a good goalie in the league. He's going to be a great goalie in the league.
Absolutely.
Going to
Yeah.
win a Vezina, I would say. I think
Yeah.
he's fantastic.
I
goalie.
think so.
So, you know, I mean, my gosh, like, could you imagine? Like,
except he took a gold medal away from us in the World
yeah,
Juniors,
fuck
but
him for
we won't
that.
talk. We won't talk about that.
We won't talk about that, but yeah, that
Yeah.
bothered me. But I mean, credit to him.
We'll talk
like, my
about
God.
that in December.
Yes,
Yeah.
December next World Juniors. My gosh, Canada's got
Yeah.
it. The U.S. man, like. Anyway, I say the U.S. and so many things just flood into my brain of like things to talk about, but I'll try to stay on track. But like Spencer Knight, good for him, man. You know what? I mean, look at who he's playing against too. Like you got Kucherov who's on fire. You got Stamkos who's finally getting back to the Steven Stamkos that we know of. You got Braden Point who's ridiculous. You know, when you're like 9th or 10th best player is Andre Palat, who I don't think gets enough credit, and like Ross Colton who's breaking into the league. Like, and that's who you're facing. An elimination game. Tampa is clearly just on their high horse right now. Man, Spencer Knight is going to be in tough, but I think the Panthers and they're gonna wake up. I think they'll have a good game. And I mean,
Is it
listen,
in Florida tonight, or is
it's
it
in Florida,
Tampa?
yeah, in
Yeah, it's
Sunrise,
in
Florida.
Florida.
Yeah, and they have fans down there too. So I
Yeah.
agree with you, Billy. Not to cut you off there, but
No,
I agree with you. I think, you know, I'm pushing Panthers. Tampa's had their time. You got your 2 cups. Yeah, I would love to see Stammer get another one. And you know, again, try not to rip on too many Russian players, but Kuch is awesome. You know, he played in the queue.
Yeah.
But at the same time, Florida has solved Vasilevsky more than any other team, even last year and even before COVID. Like,
yep.
It's you know 6-5. It's that one game was like what 4-1 or something when Tampa won. But like Vasilevsky is very solid. He's one of the best goaltenders in the league. Conn Smythe winner, I do believe. Or was that Kucherov?
No, that was Hedman.
Was it Hedman?
Yeah,
Hedman
My
last
bad,
year. Yeah,
my bad. But he should have. He definitely would have been him.
Oh yeah.
Would have been either or. But
Yeah.
you know, I do believe, and I want to believe that the Panthers have it tonight. Their unis are so sick.
Yeah.
But you know, at the same time though, you have to deal with the Hedmans and the Kucherovs. I don't know. I haven't heard if Kucherov is dressing tonight or not, because you got that leg injury from the slash.
That's the other thing.
But you know, you have those guys, and then you have even more depth. You have Tyler Johnson, you have Hedman on the back end, and then what's his face there? Is it Shirelli? No.
Sorelli. Yeah. Sorelli.
Like hadn't scored in like 31 games or something like that, and then he scores 2. Like just one of those guys, man, that you need that depth. But then on the other side, you got Florida, who's got Hornquist, who's won 2 cups, right? You got Spencer Knight, that's going to be jittery, right? But the boys will settle him down. You got Uyghur, you got Huberto, you got Barkov, who's an absolute beast, I think. Great power forward. But I'm pushing for Panthers a little bit, just because, you know, I love the underdog story a little bit. But if you can even call a team an underdog in these weird playoffs, I don't know. But I'm pushing for Panthers. I don't know about you, Jess, but I'm going for Panthers tonight, just to keep it interesting. I want these playoffs to keep going into like July and August here.
Yeah, no, I'm pushing for the Panthers in this one too. You know, for the series, I predicted it to go to 7. I think it'd be awesome if they go to 7 games. But just like you said with Tampa, like obviously they're the defending cup champs, so they got the experience of what it takes and all that. Like I said in the previous episodes and all that.
Mm.
But yeah, I'm really pushing for Florida for this one tonight too.
It's pretty crazy how I think when you just look at like the good teams in this league, I mean, not that there's, you know, only 4 or 5 good teams. I mean, there are many, many good teams in this league. But man, you look at like the rise of the, you know, quote unquote non-hockey states or non-hockey cities that are produced. I mean, not that all the players are coming from these cities, but I mean, that's amazing popularity for those places. And I mean, you know, you have a team who I guarantee you that people in like Sunrise, Florida, I think that's the only team that's based out of that city. I mean, I know they got like a couple football teams like, you know, in Jacksonville and like Miami and whatever. But I mean, for the state of Florida to not only have the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Buccaneers and the Tampa Bay Rays, who are ridiculous, but then finally it's like, okay, the lesser known Florida team, who is definitely, the Panthers have to be the least known Florida based professional sports team. They have to be. Or the least popular. They have to be in Florida. I think more people go see the Jacksonville Jaguars and then NFL than they do the Florida Panthers, especially considering their rink is like just off the highway and not even in like the downtown part of Sunrise. But man, even if they lose this series, whatever's going to happen with the front office, and I mean Quenneville, whether he stays, goes, whatever. Bobrovsky, if they fucking buy him out or something because he's played like dog shit, whatever. But what a good thing, and I'm so happy that for the city and for the team and the fans of the team, because man, everyone makes jokes about the Panthers not having fans and stuff because their team just hasn't been that good. Now they're fantastic. They're going to be good next year, even if they lose this year in the first round. They'll be good next year.
They can only go up from here.
They can only go up. I mean, that's fantastic. So it's good to see in like teams like Carolina, who, you know, they won a cup in 06, haven't done much since then. And now it's like, man, now they're good. And it's so good to see fans pack the buildings of these like hot states. You know, it's like 30 fucking degrees in May.
You're just going right for the heart with the Carolina thing too, aren't you? 'Cause you know who
I
beat.
literally did not even know. Totally did not even think about that. That's my bad.
It's been a rough couple days, man.
Fuck, my bad. Literally wasn't even thinking. Jess, if you know that the Canes beat the Oilers, in the Cup final in 06. My bad. At least the Oilers have a much better history than the Canes.
Yeah.
Just not in the last 24 hours. But
we're not going to talk about it
anymore. We're not going to talk about it. But you know what? Let's shit on the Canes for a little bit. If they let Nashville come back and
I want Nashville to win so bad, you know that.
If Nashville comes back, good for them because they've been one of the best teams, and like that's a huge underdog story. Carolina, that would be one of the biggest upset. That would be the biggest upset. I don't care if Winnipeg beats Edmonton. I don't care if Colorado somehow loses and doesn't win the Stanley Cup. This is the biggest upset, obviously, since Tampa losing in 4 to Columbus.
Yeah.
And like top two, those two would be top two for years because the Nashville Predators, as good as they are not a better hockey team than Carolina. Carolina is ridiculous. No. Their power play is ridiculous. Their penalty kill is ridiculous. Alex Nedeljkovic is having a Calder-worthy season. Kaprizov is probably going to win it. UC Soros is a monster. UC Soros
is amazing.
He took the Nashville Predators and he launched them on his back, and he's like, "I'm bringing you to the next round."
Yeah.
I've never seen a goalie performance like that. And he's 5'11".
Like I thought he was like 5'6" or 5'7".
He looks 5'6". My gosh. I mean, on skates, he's 5'11". He's probably like 5'9" at best. He's one of the smallest guys in the league, let alone goalies. And he's playing ridiculous hockey. That's some of the best goaltending I've ever seen in my life. He's so calm. Like 2-on-0s.
Goaltending battle. It's a goaltending battle in that series.
Oh,
you got Carolina's goalie, because I can't pronounce his fucking name. But they're both going back and forth, double overtime twice, like two different games. You know, like, and that's what we want to see in the playoffs. Like, I'm an Oilers fan, but I watched that game, and then when Nashville scored, I was grabbing ice. I was pumped up. I was fired up, and you know, I got that hate on for the Canes, but there's still so many Canadian guys on that team, right?
Yeah.
Like you know, you got Stalzy, you got and really weird thing. Eric Stahl was the captain of the Canes.
Yeah.
And now Jordan
The brother.
is the captain of the Canes.
Yeah.
That's funny.
So I don't know how many times this happened. I think maybe the Sutter brothers were captains of maybe either the Islanders or the Flames back in the day. I think
yeah.
a couple
Might be right,
of the
yeah.
brothers were, but I think that's really, really cool. And at the same time too, the Canes jerseys with the flag that comes off with the stick.
Yeah.
Sick.
Oh,
Really nice jerseys.
I'm
Really
so
nice.
sorry, all of my Oiler fans out there, but I'm a suck for good unis. And
Those are
some
good unis.
sick
Yeah.
unis.
Very nice jerseys. Very sleek jerseys.
I'm not even a Carolina fan, and I think I would buy one of those jerseys.
Just
I
to
might
have,
buy
just to
one
rock.
too.
Yeah.
Dude,
And
literally.
I would burn in hell with all the hockey gods, but I would
Dude,
buy
they're
one of those jerseys.
sick.
Yeah.
Those are nice. The black ones with like the double.
Oh.
Cam Ward on the back too, with Cam Ward on the back.
Cam Ward, yeah. Solid. Good old Canadian boy.
So
Yeah.
this takes us into the next thing though.
Mm.
Because you got Vegas and Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
Right, you got Cam Talbot, Jesse, that's playing pretty
Fantastic.
decent hockey, but hasn't been able to really solve Vegas in general. But can we just talk about the phenom of Marc-Andre Fleury?
Let's go.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
First off, his pads are just so sick
Oh.
with the red
Yeah.
with the red straps on the back.
Yep.
And like you said, Billy, earlier, they signed Leonard to a 5-year deal.
Dick
And
move.
guess what, bud? Where's your net?
It's
not
so
behind you.
true. I know.
It's not behind you. Marc-Andre Fleury comes out of nowhere and he's making these crazy ass saves, diving and jumping like Dominic Hasek used to do.
Yeah.
And like I just have to say Vegas is going to take it tonight because they're just too much of a juggernaut.
Yeah.
Stoney and Pacioretty and Marchessault. I call him the Monster Truck Show.
Mm.
Jonathan Monster Truck Show.
Yeah, that's good.
And then even on the back end, you guys got all around. They're unreal.
They're really
But
good.
at the same time, though, I got to go the other side as well. Minnesota. Even when I lived back in Edmonton and stuff, we could never beat Minnesota.
Mm.
Like Minnesota is a silent killer. They could come out with a win tonight. They could come out with a dub.
Mm.
If Talbot plays well, did Parise get hurt last game? I don't know if he came.
I don't know. Did he? Because he was a healthy scratch to start the series.
He got scratched.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the. Listen, do you know how good Minnesota? Not that Parise is a shitty player or anything like that, but I mean, he's old. He was drafted in 03 and stuff. When they signed Parise and Suter to like the monster contracts, I thought that would save the franchise. I was totally did the opposite. Ryan Suter's still a beast. Then you fast forward, like, man, you could have used that money and probably signed some like younger guys. Maybe they could have turned into your savior or whatever. But I mean, even with that, they're past the boring years, I think, Minnesota. I mean, even if they lose this series, like Kaprizov is ridiculous, even though he's 25. He's fucked at hockey. So many other guys on the team are going like Joel Eriksson Ek is fantastic. No one knew who he was until like last year, and now he's just playing ridiculous. And I'm just like, okay, good for him. Like, good for Minnesota, but just too bad for them that they got to run into Vegas on a mission. I think that they're still. You look at the playoff exits for Vegas. Oh man, just the last the 3 years that they've been in the league, the playoff exits. Stanley Cup Final, Game 5 on your home ice, the collapse in Game 7 in Nashville in the next year. And then the Game 5 overtime loss in the conference finals to Dallas, a team that was not better than Vegas. Vegas almost beat themselves, I think, even though Dallas, they did play well. Vegas is a better team than Dallas. Let's just get that out of the way. Look at where Dallas is today. Look at where Vegas is today. But, man, that's a crushing 3 years. And I think that Vegas, especially Marc-Andre Fleury, like you brought this up, man, I'm so happy that he's dominating.
Yeah.
All respect to Robin Leonard, big mental health advocate. Love him. He's a great guy. Great goalie too.
Yeah.
A lot younger than I thought he was. 6, rocks a monster beard. Love that.
Yeah.
But man, Fleury, give this man the Vezina already, please.
Honestly,
He's the third in league history. He's the third most winningest goalie in league history. And I would, with the way that he's playing, if he goes to Seattle, then maybe in the first season that he plays, I mean, he doesn't have that many years left in him. I know that. He's 36. Yeah. Maybe he doesn't reach Patrick Roy, like Patrick Roy's record of wins. Or no, it's Brodeur. So maybe he doesn't pass Roy, but he's going to be damn close, I think.
Yeah.
Playing unreal. He's my favorite player.
And Billy, I know you're a big fan of Fleury too.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you too. Fleury's one of my favorite goalies too. You know,
what a character.
Just like you, I grew up watching him. Big fan too. Yeah, unbelievable.
Fantastic fucking goalie. I mean, he's probably one of the best teammates. I mean, you hear like interviews that people talk about him. He's literally, they keep saying like one of the best people to ever play the game. Just like a great person all around, great locker room guy. Oh man, I would die. I would kill to see him win a cup again. Like, oh man, but again, Nathan MacKinnon. If I had to pick between Fleury and MacKinnon, well, I might want to see Nathan MacKinnon in the Stanley Cup. Fleury's got 3. MacKinnon, he's due. He's due for a breakout performance, I think. But he's been unreal.
Can we also say how gorgeous Vegas's unis are?
Yeah, again with the unis, absolutely.
Yeah.
The red ones too. I really wish they bring out the red ones. And with the Colorado Avalanche, I wish, Jesse, that they would bring out the Nordiques jerseys just for one game in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I
love those jerseys too.
The reverse retro jerseys, solid.
Yeah.
Solid jerseys. With the exception of I know this is your favorite team, Jess, Detroit's.
Yeah, those are practice jerseys. Those are tryout jerseys, man.
They are. Yeah. What are you doing? Who looked at that and were like, this is what we're going to come up with? You know how cool? I know there's only 2 colors with Detroit. You go red and white. They got different logos that you could have used. You got different, like you could have gone old school and wrote like Detroit across the. Dude, you literally took off all your colors and put a gray stripe.
Yeah,
not even in your. That's ridiculous.
Honestly, I was hoping they would have went with like the Stadium Series logo they had a couple years ago with the classic D for Detroit.
Yeah. Those are nice.
Honestly, those Stadium Series jerseys with the white stripe diagonal with the D, those are my favorite Red I also like their white Centennial Classic ones they had with the silver around the logo.
Yeah.
With the red stripes. Yeah.
Because those are simple too. Like that was a simple design, but like it was crisp. It was nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, the reverse retro jerseys, I hope they do something like that again. I don't know if they're going to have those in the inventory next year. But God, I would love. I was disappointed that I know I'm not a big fan of the Islanders right now, but man, dropping the ball on not putting the Fisherman logo.
I know.
Can't believe they didn't do that.
Lots of people wanted the Fisherman logo.
Yeah, that's one of the
it's like
coolest logos of all time.
It's like they didn't even change much to their jerseys. It looks exactly the same.
They made it a darker blue.
Yeah, that's it. They only made the blue darker.
It's like, come on, man. Like, it's disappointing anyway. But the teams who like nailed it and just like went off the cuff and just like cool, like Anaheim's. Even though it looks gimmicky, kind of, I think it's funny. I think it's cool that they did that. Arizona's, like LA's, Minnesota's, Colorado, like they're so sick. They look so nice.
Yeah, and I know Islanders fans too. As much as we wanted the Fisherman logo too, I'm sure you Islanders fans wanted the Fisherman too.
Well, I think we can speak for everyone.
That is the most classic logo they could have gone with, and they chose not to. Disappointed in that.
You know what else bothers me? Like, I know this is kind of like, I don't know if it's nitpicky or just like, why are we talking about logos right now? Okay, you look at the New York Islanders logo. Who looks at that logo? I mean, this is how I look at their logo. I don't see an NY. I see an M. I see an M with a hockey stick because they're connected at the top, and it always has bothered me.
Yeah.
They look like the McDonald Islanders. That's literally what I think about. It's weird. I don't like their logo at all. So my bad,
Yeah.
Islanders fans, but your logo is kind of trash. Also, Washington's logo is trash. It's very boring. Don't like that logo either. But
Going back to what you said, Billy, with Spencer Knight making his playoff debut. Another guy making his playoff debut tonight, Cole Caulfield, which everyone likes to call Goal Caulfield. I know he's pretty excited for that. I saw they were saying that he was gonna tell his parents after he was done his Zoom call with the team and all that. And then they were saying, I'm sure his parents already know by now and all that. Yeah. But yeah, good for him. I don't know why Ducharme didn't play him in game 1, but I mean, I understand too with young guys, you don't really want to pressure them that much in the playoffs, but no, good for him. I think he'll do good tonight.
Coach, obviously, I mean, you haven't coached in the NHL, obviously, and like like not that you've been in this situation, I'm sure, but you have a guy like Cole Caulfield. If you're a coach, you got a guy like Cole Caulfield who, he wasn't ripping the, like scoring 8 goals or anything like that. But I mean, he scored 2 goals, and just like the way that he plays on the ice, he plays like he's 6'8". Like he plays fast, he plays hard, and he'll be a great player in the league. Would you have put him in game 1 to start the playoffs?
No, I liked what Dom Ducharme did for game 1. Leave him out just for one. You have that in your back pocket when you can use it. Putting him in for game 3. I can compare Caulfield, and I have never heard anybody compare him to this guy. I can compare him to a Martin St. Louis. He's small. He can get around guys. He has a lot to learn, that's for sure, because I've watched a couple games, especially at the last going off there with the Oilers. But I think that's just going to electrify your lineup. Like, he's the Energizer Bunny. He does not stop. He does not quit. Yeah, he's going to get hit twice as hard as he was, before the playoffs started. But you got Shea Weber in the lineup to protect you. I'm not 100% sure what line he's starting in. Do you know, Jesse? Do we know what the lines are, predicted lineups? But
not too sure. No,
not sure.
No, I
Probably
didn't
second
see.
line-ish.
I didn't see him. I didn't see any lineup predictions for Montreal. At the end of the day, it's just going to electrify your lineup. Dom Ducharme knows what to do with young guys that have the jitters. Coach the Moose. He was an assistant coach with Montreal there for a bit. I think you got to play every card that you have, and going in against Toronto, who are they are juggernauts on the front end. They have the depth, they have the size, now we've basically figured out that they have the goaltending in Campbell. I think that Toronto has Montreal in size, but I think that Montreal has Toronto in speed now with Caulfield being in the lineup. Because you got Byron, you got Cole Caulfield, you got Kotkaniemi. I'm pretty sure he's in. If he's not, I'm sorry, Montreal fans. I don't follow too much, but I'll tell you one thing: Cole Caulfield's probably going to be shitting if Zach Bogosian's going into the corner with him.
Oh yeah,
that guy is an absolute monster. He's a mutant. I wouldn't want to be going into the corner with him, but I think that putting that type of energy into any lineup on any team in this league right now would just boost you. I don't know who their who their starting lineup is. I know Gallagher's back in the lineup, but he's also going to have all those guys that he can talk to and be like, listen, man, okay, I've had my first 3 shifts. What am I doing wrong here? You got a lot of guys that do have some playoff experience in there. And at the end of the day, it doesn't hurt to have Price in your net. It never hurts to have Price. Even though he did have the injury, and then he, played with Laval and they split the squad or whatever, or split the game, I should say. But going into Montreal tonight, I think Toronto has tonight, but I think Montreal has the next game. Montreal is not going to not win another game. They're going to win another one, but I don't know if it's going to be tonight. I think they may lose tonight, but Montreal will win game 4. And then going back to Toronto, that's when it becomes a toss up, and we can't say that fans are in the crowd, blah blah blah. I really think, and we haven't even touched on the Leafs yet, but like, and maybe I'll lead right into that. Like, man, you have so much firepower with the Leafs right now. Like Matthews, Marner, even though he looks like a Bantam player. And then you got Jumbo Joe, and you got Dubas has just done such a great job, I think, in getting all the right pieces in place. I don't know if it's the right amount of pieces or the right puzzle combined to win a cup, but there should be no reason that Toronto shouldn't beat Montreal with what they have. And it doesn't hurt to have a backup goaltender right now in Freddie Anderson. Campbell, if Campbell goes and lays an egg, then you got Freddie. You got Freddie right backing him up, and he's probably just answering to get ready to be back in the net. But I really think you'll see Toronto win tonight because they're coming off of a high, and then and I could be totally wrong, but Toronto wins tonight. Montreal wins game 4, and then you go back to Toronto and you see what happens.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I think, I mean, I'm with you in the sense that Montreal is going to win another game in the series, 100%. It's going 6 at least. It has to. I think I predicted Montreal in 7, I think. Just because. What'd you put, Jeff?
I put, what was it? I put the Leafs in 6 is what I did.
6, yeah. Because I think it's like, I know a lot of people are like, oh man, like, it's gonna be a sweep, or like Leafs in 3, haha. Or even some Montreal fans were like, Montreal in 4, Montreal in 5. But it's like these teams, even though the difference in the standings and how good the Leafs have played, it's like they've played each other so often this year, and I was so sure that this is, of all the series, this is the one that I'm like, this has the most chance of going to a game 7. Because when these teams play against each other, it's like they play differently. They just do. Like Montreal could struggle against any other team in the league, but they play Toronto, and players, obviously they know the history. They know the stakes. They know like the battle between Montreal and Toronto and whatever. And it's like, man, Montreal's a good team. Like they're a good last seed, I think. Like this Montreal team, they're a good final seed to get in. It's going to be good. It's going to be rough hockey. It's going to be fun to watch. And I think that Cole Caulfield is going to, he's not going to be a hindrance, I don't think. I don't know who's coming out.
It doesn't hurt your lineup.
It doesn't hurt at all. Whoever comes out, even if it's a guy like Paul Byron, which I'm sure it won't be, whoever comes out, you're putting Cole Caulfield in there. What he's not a guy like a hothead or anything like that. He's not gonna do anything stupid. He can only better your team. So I think that if I were a Montreal fan, I'd be very happy, very excited. So it'll be fun to watch.
And I don't know, do they got the fans in Montreal tonight, or
I don't think yet.
No,
I think it's
not yet.
May 28th is supposed to be the night where they're allowing 2,600 fans.
Yeah. Which to us,
nothing for the bell. It is nothing for the.
That's nothing for the Bells. That's not even like a quarter of a section. Like that's no one. But
anyway, imagine if they had the fans there tonight to see Caulfield, though, how excited they would be. Oh,
you know that they're watching at home. Those crazy French Canadians are gonna be bumping in their living rooms.
Yeah.
No other. I will say now, talk about the Penguins a little bit. They're about to play.
Yeah.
Now at 8. Got to watch that. They have to win this game. The winner of this game between the Penguins and Islanders winning the series. Because it's not going 7 games.
No.
It's not. I don't see it. After that game 4, this is game 7 basically, because whoever wins this is going to win game 6. I just feel it. I know a lot of people are saying that too.
Yeah, I would
And,
say.
man, the Islanders just they play a funny type of game that I'm not sure Pittsburgh can handle. So I hate to say
Yeah.
it, but man, I might be going. I'm going for Pittsburgh, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Islanders took it, man.
Yeah.
Not be surprised. They look good.
Yeah.
Sorokin, for some reason, Carey Price against Pittsburgh. I don't know why Sorokin's crazy good, but
Yeah.
good for him, I guess.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Hey, even the Hamburglar took the Ottawa Senators to the playoffs, right? So
exactly.
Yeah.
Anyone can do it. Just gotta,
anybody can do it, man.
you get in that
Your
zone.
best player has to be your goaltender, right? So
Mhm.
I don't know who they're starting tonight, if it's Jari or DeSmith, but they got to figure it the fuck out because
Yep.
Tanger and and even CC they're doing their jobs, but I find Letang sometimes he's been in this series at least has been taking some dumb penalties.
Yep.
Yeah.
And but at the same time though, you can't chirp your top line at all with Sid and Gensel and Rust. Is it they plays with? Yeah. You can't chirp that lineup at all because Sid is Sid and he's doing amazing things. Gensel can put the puck in the net like nobody's business. And now you get Gino back. Now he's shaking off the rust a little bit. And I hope that Gino can come in tonight and take control for you. But he's a powerhouse to begin with. But just a random fact too. I think that this might be, the last year you see the Pens in the playoffs just for a little bit. They're getting a little older. Goaltending's a little questionable. You have a lot of good things coming up in the minors. But if this is going to be the year they want to try to make some noise, I think that they will because, Crosby's on the back end. I think Gino's on the back end with the injuries and all that kind of stuff. Gino is older than Crosby, right? And I just hope that they can, and Pens are my Eastern Conference team. I'm definitely pulling for them, Sid the Kid and all that stuff. But it's going to come down to goaltending, I think, in this series in general, and definitely tonight. So I don't know who's starting for the Pens, but
I think it's Jari. I think I saw it put up the starting lineup. I think it's Jari. Yeah. I think they're riding them. I think DeSmith might still be injured because I think they got Lagacé in the back. Yeah, he got a lingering lower body injury. I think sustained like 2 days before the season ended or something like that. But anyway, I guess we'll see what happens. But I got to go watch that now and.
We can wrap it up here, gentlemen.
Yep.
Yeah, well, Jesse, I got a couple guests lined up for whenever we want to on tap for whenever we want to bring them on, just to give the fans some little insider information. Talked to a buddy of mine by the name of Matty Coble. He played Junior A in Fort McMurray, and then I got Oli the goalie. He plays in the German Elite League over in Germany. He's coming home. His season's done, so he said that he would come on whenever he's going to be in quarantine for 14 days, so we can get him on here. And my buddy Brett Hamilton, who's Al Hamilton's son, who won 5 Stanley Cups with Wayne Gretzky. So we have a lot of guys on tap here, and we'll have lots to talk about. That's for sure. But I just want to let you guys know that I got some guys lined up for whenever we want to bring them on.
Yeah, for sure.
Big things.
All right, guys. So thanks for tuning in to this one. It was a great episode. Had a lot to talk about. Make sure to stay tuned for the future episodes. Keep subscribing, leaving likes, and enjoy the games tonight, boys.
Yes, sir.
All right, guys, stay safe.
All right, boys.
Love you.
Later.
See you, boys.